Hey guys, Jeremy with Four Sons Off-Road. So a real simple project for us today here. We're just going to install these in a little Suzuki Carry. These are the turbo LEDs from Amazon. These are the best-selling LED conversion kit on Amazon.ca. And these are branded RCP, but they're branded like, you know, I've seen them branded 3 or 4 different things on Amazon in the exact same box, in this turbo LED box. But of course, this is a 2003 Suzuki Carry. Most of these mini trucks take an H4 bulb. And when I say most, I mean pretty much anything with a component headlight, you know, with the plastic style headlight with the bulbs that come in from the back. If your mini truck is older and you have the actual like sealed beam glass round, you know, bulbs, well, obviously these won't work, but these do work, I think, on pretty much most component headlight mini trucks. Honda, Subaru, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, obviously, and more. So basically just check if it's an H4 bulb in there. Pretty simple. These should work if you have enough clearance in behind. But let's have a look at what's in the box here. Okay, so we bust into these things pretty simply. So I mean, it's a pretty complete, these are the complete conversions. So they do come with the little ballasts here. And ooh, let's see here if we can get that. Yeah, T1 turbo LED. So pretty simple, and then like say straight plug into your standard H4 outlet there. Now these have a heat sink and an actual electric fan in there to keep everything nice and cool. So yeah, seemed to be a pretty solid duty little setup for what, 35 bucks? I think they're 45 Canadian. Yeah, let's see what they look like. Alright, so first thing we're going to need to do, I've got the hood up on our little Suzuki Carry here. On these DA63s, basically holding this headlight on is just this one screw at the top, and then a couple of plastic pins that kind of hold it in at the bottom. On some of the older DB52s, there's also a screw down underneath here, which means you literally have to get right up underneath that bumper to pull everything out. This one's a little easier. I am going to pop these little retainer rivets out here, just so that we can kind of pry this back a little bit to get in and see what we're doing in there. But pretty simply, yeah, just that one screw. So pretty simple on this end. Just gonna pop that out. Now with that out of the way, don't know if we'll be able to see down in there, and I might have to, like say, pop these little retainers out, but there's a little pin down in the corner there holding it on. But let me get those rivets out of the way. Alright, so with the rivets out of the way, you can kind of pry back on here, and you can see right there, so there's a little plastic kind of rivet holding on, and there's one on the other side there. Now, if you they should come out pretty easily, but if they're kind of stuck, like if you haven't removed your headlight bezels before, you can kind of just get a screwdriver in behind there and just slowly, just kind of give it a little pry out, and it should pop out of place. But let's see if these ones need any help. Go. So yeah, they kind of just pop out of place there, and then don't pull too hard because you got all your wiring in behind. So basically, your turn signals, those should just pop right out. And there's a marker light at the bottom here, same thing. That'll just turn right out. And then of course your headlight bulb connector, give that a little bit of wiggle, it pops right out. So there we go, we've got that headlight bezel out now. Now you see there's a bit of a dust boot kind of thing on the back here. We're gonna see if we can't reuse that with these LED lights. I know sometimes it's a little bit bigger, of course. So if we pop that out of the way, pretty easy. These just pop out of the way here, and your old bulb comes right out. Pretty simple, standard H4 bulb. It's got the high and low beam built in there. But yeah, let's see about getting that other one back in place. All right, so the way that these LED conversions work, you know, you've got that dust boot around there, and even just with these little clips, it can be really tough to get the bulb installed. These ones are actually adjustable. Sorry about the focus there. So there's actually an adjustment kind of notch there, so that when this thing is actually inserted into the bezel, you can change where the reflector pattern is going, and also take this base right out of there to be able to install. Just put this down here to be able to install so that you don't have to try to reach these retainer wires and stuff all the way around. Basically pop that in place and then you can snap everything back nice and easily. And that dust boot will fit back on top of there, of course, and then the light just fits down in between. We are still going to have to modify this dust boot, I think. It's there's not quite, in order for that light to lock in there, it has to be pretty much flush with the top of the little mount there. So I think we're going to have to trim off a little bit of this dust boot, but still should have a good seal, and you know, much better than just leaving the dust boot right off and allowing all kinds of crud to get in there. So I'm just going to go and trim with a bit of this off and see how that works. Alright, so we got our dust seal trimmed off there. It's still a good amount of seal. Took off, you know, about a 1/4 inch of that lip there just to allow for that extra clearance. But now if we push this back into place, just get this squeezed back into place there if it's nice and tight. And if you see in here, I don't know if I've got enough light for that. Let me just switch angles here. Basically, you want this dust seal to push down and around that headlight mount that we've got in place there, so that it's tucked in nice, and then you can see the that plastic. You can see that plastic mount that bulb has to slide into. So now if we take our bulb, it's got to go in that way. Where are we here? Oh, got it backwards. There's 2 little tabs on there. One's wider than the other. There we go. Fits in there. And then just push down on it. And you can see it twists into place. And she's solid. And like I say, we're not interfering too much with the that heat sink fan, and everything should still have lots of airflow there, but most importantly, we've got our dust seal back into place. You can see it's pretty low profile. I mean, it really doesn't stick out that much, probably not much further than the original connector stuck out. And then of course with the you know, ballast here, it just, you basically can run your connector out of the way. So that would be the only thing you'd probably have to worry about with this type of an installation, would be that back clearance there if it sticks out a little too far, you know, if your body is really close or something like that. But got lots of room on this truck, so should be pretty good. But let's pop it back in place and just see the difference. Alright, so got everything popped back into place on the left side there, the passenger side, and stock one on the driver's side still. Quite a difference. I know the lights never really translate very well in terms of their effectiveness on a camera, but man, that's super bright off that side compared to the stock one. And that's just low beam. So there's the high beams there, and again, really brilliant bright off that side. You know, not horrible. The standard halogens are okay, but this is, man, super bright. Pretty cool. I'm going to finish up the other side and we'll have a look at the finished product. There we go. Both sides done. I'm pretty impressed for 35 bucks. I think these look pretty good. I'll have to see how long they last for sure, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll make sure to put the link to these lights down in the comments, and so you guys can find them for yourselves. And be sure to check out our website, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.